Welcome to Jamie TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm streaming 100% live on YouTube, and today I'm going to show you this wonderful app, ANILOG, which is a synthesizer with a sequencer built in. Now there's an awful lot to tell you about this app, and it's kind of tricky to know where to start. So let me just fire up my chat here, because it's doing that usual thing it keeps doing each week and telling me that there's nobody here, and I'm sure at least one person must be here. Sam, good evening. Thank you very much for joining me. There are apparently a few other people here who haven't joined in the chat yet, so show yourselves. Let's see who's here so I can say hi. All right, so if you are checking out Jamie TV for the very first time, thank you very much for taking a chance on me. I hope that you see something here today that you enjoy. And if you are returning to the channel, like Sam, thank you very much for your continued support. Now, like I say, there's an awful lot to tell you about this app. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dive in and pissy pants about. And hopefully you'll get some idea from that of what it's capable of. I did start making some notes to try and give myself kind of a guide, a sensible order to go through things. But it just kind of got real complicated, and I thought I'm never going to be able to read that while I do it, so I'm just going to wing it. So, ANILOG. I'm going to tell you first of all that this app was made and continues to be made, because she's still developing it, by Amy Lee, who I had the great pleasure of speaking to online yesterday. I had a really nice chat with her. Amy is not a full-time music app developer. She's got a proper job, basically. She makes she's working on this app in her spare time, and she's also a musician, and she actually uses this synthesizer live, and so she's designed it with that in mind. When I show you the synthesizer part of this app, you'll see that it's very much designed with a live use in mind. I shall show you more about that shortly. I first saw this app being used by Tim Webb about a year, maybe 18 months ago, something like that. At that time, I don't think it had a sequencer on board. It was just a synth. And I know Tim was very impressed with it, and I thought, yeah, that's really cool. I ought to check that out. And of course, you know, there are so many apps, and I forgot, being honest, I forgot all about it. And then Amy posted something on one of the iOS groups just, you know, a few weeks ago, and so I got in touch with her, and so now I'm doing this. So let's see now. I'm going to go up here and show you up here first. No, I'm not. I'm going to show you this. Right. Now, if you have any issues whatsoever when you buy this app, because you're going to buy this app, because I'm going to tell you why you're going to buy this app. You're going to buy this app because it's incredibly cheap. Now, the main reason I really wanted to do a video about this app is because when I first encountered it, I thought that is a very interesting app that could very easily get overlooked by too many people. And the reason for that is because it is not as yet AV3. And AV3 is very much the standard. It's become a way that we measure apps without even checking them out now. Oh, if it's not AV3, I'm not interested. I'm not buying it. But Amy does intend to make it AV3. She knows how to do it. She's going to work on it, and it looks like it is going to happen. But this app is so cheap that I didn't ask Amy for any codes to help promote this video, because I thought, you know what? It's about half a shekel to buy, and I thought it would be insulting to ask for codes to give away, even though that would have helped me promote this video. because I have noticed that whenever my video is advertised saying code giveaway, there's an awful lot more people watch it. But I just thought that would be the wrong way to go for this app. And as I go along, I hope to show you why you ought to purchase it. There's a lot more yet to come for this app, having spoken to Amy, the main one being AV3, of course. Okay, so the reason I pressed that little question mark up there is because I wanted to show you that this app has a very, very excellent user manual. It's so nicely written. Now, I've mentioned this before on this channel. I have some kind of problem with reading and retaining information, and it's not that I can't read the words, it's just that I read them and nothing goes in. And yet this manual, I've looked through it and it has really, really helped me get to grips with it. It's so clearly set out, lots of lovely pictures, very much in the style of the app. You know, the whole thing is bright and friendly and fun, very colourful, everything done in the kind of colours that would be very easy to see on a badly lit live stage. This manual is absolutely superb. Now, I know that Mr. Jakob Hack put out a video earlier on about finding manuals in apps. This one is not difficult to find at all. All you do is you press the question mark, and one of the best manuals for any iOS app I have encountered so far will be right in front of you. And I've stumbled across a few things that I've needed to sort of consult the manual for, and it's helped me every time. And also, Amy helped me out rather a lot online yesterday. So, right, so I've shown you that. Wanted to remember to show you that. Okay, so I'm giving myself 1 brownie point. I'm going to press setup, and in here we have global things that we can pissy pants around with. We can check out how many voices are being played. We can see how much CPU we are using. He said changing key, like some kind of stupid hippie. All right, we've got global tuning. We've got some EQ here. Here we can adjust how many octaves the on-screen keyboard has, right from a few notes for very big, fat, chubby fingers, or lots and lots of notes for tiny fingers like mine. And on this keyboard, and I don't know if it does this on every sound, but let's just get a nice amount of keys here. Now, obviously it doesn't do it on every sound, but certainly on some of the sounds, what you'll find is that if you hit the key low down, you get a nice big loud sound and a softer sound higher up. I should have mentioned, by the way, I am using AUM to connect my Impact GX Mini, which I really, really like, to ANILOG. Now, it works better with Audio Bus, but I'm not a big Audio Bus user. There are a couple of things that don't connect up brilliantly well as of yet, but will be improved soon. One of them being that if you are recording in a sequence, you have to use the on-screen keys if you're in AUM. If you're pressing on your control keyboard, you will hear the notes, but they won't be recorded into the sequencer. Oh, Joe's here. It's okay. It's okay, Joe. I'm not cross. I'm not cross. It's okay to be late. I'm just really, really pleased that you're here. And Gerald's here. Thank you for joining me, everyone. It's just nice to have some friends online while I'm while I'm wobbling away about apps. Okay, so what else have we got? We've got the number of keys you can have on the screen, which I just really, really like doing this. It's just loads of fun. And notice how when I touch this fader here to adjust that, just like every other fader in this app, it changes color. So if you were on stage adjusting some parameter whilst you're playing, you can see very clearly which one you are touching. It gives you a percentage as well, if you are the kind of person who likes numerical values for everything. And also what might be a little bit difficult to see on screen just because it's kind of small, but right at the top of the app here, in a sort of a grey but bold type, it tells you what that particular parameter that you are tweaking actually does. So like if I move this one, it says set bass roll off frequency to 52 hertz. Now, Amy says somewhere in, I think it's in the instructions somewhere, somewhere in the introduction to the app, what she says is just start putting your fingers on things and start playing around with it. And that's the best way to learn what it does. And she's absolutely right. Everything about this app I found to be very, very user friendly. It's very kind of just get stuck in, piss your pants around with it, and everything kind of just makes sense. And pretty much everything is where you would like it to be. You know, like when you're looking for a menu, when you're looking for a button, that button is usually where you would like it to be, where you'd expect it to be, perhaps. Perhaps that's the right way to say it. Okay, so we can adjust the bend range. We've got a pitch movie thingy, a pitch bend thing. We've also got a hold key, so we can just hold on a note if we want to give ourselves a bass note solo or something like that. We've got modulation control, and this is really awesome. We can press this and lose the on-screen keys, so that again, if you're playing live and you'd be wanting to use as much screen as possible, you know, you can just do that, because you'd be using a controller keyboard presumably live, and you wouldn't need to see the keys, although they do look extremely pretty. If I play on the correct octave, let's just do this. Everything lights up very beautifully in this app, and I just like that. I like things that look, you know, colourful and fun. Life is just better with lots of stuff like that. He said, waffling like an absolute arse. Right, we can adjust in the global settings here. We've got note velocity, note volume. This is where you would see your MIDI messages coming in. I'm not seeing that because of the way I have it set up. And then we have utilities over here where you can reset your factory banks if you've been pissing about with your sounds and you just decide that you made an arse of it and you want to reset it. You can export your banks to save them elsewhere, or to maybe share with somebody, or use with a different iPad or iPhone. It does work on iPhone as well. And I didn't quite... Hi, Johan. Thanks very much for being here, sir. I didn't quite finish what I was saying earlier about the price of this app and why I think you should buy it. One of the reasons I think you should buy it is because it is so cheap, and Amy is still developing this. And like many iOS developers, she's a person who has a real job, who does this in you know, what spare time she has. And I think that little bit of support and encouragement is something that, as iOS music fans, we ought to do. The more people that do that, the more likely we are to see the things that we want to see. You know, we want to see it go AUV3. It will do. And some of the other things I'm going to mention as we go along that are yet to be developed in the app. So, looking down this side here at these yellow knobs, this is where we kind of move between the different sections of the app. So like I showed you up here, we've got the manual. This is set up so these are kind of global things. And then we've got the sequencer here, which we're going to come back to in a bit. And down here, we've got the instrument section, basically the synthesizer section. Now, I'm going to show you across this section here. So, starting at the wrong side, I've already shown you that if we press this button here, we'll lose the keys. And if we press on this window here, then we go to the presets. Now, one thing that is about to get developed for this app is that there's going to be, it's funny because I was wobbling on about this the last time I did a synth thing. I think I was doing Synth Master 2. I like it when you can go into the menu to look at presets and you can just select just basses, you know, just leads, or choose sort of certain banks of sounds by what character they have, what kind of instrument they have. That's coming. As you can see, we don't have it yet, but it's coming. I actually saw that on Amy's iPad. She held it up to the screen so I could see that that is something that's happening. Okay, so maybe we should just, while we're here, just let's just have a pissy pants around with a few sounds, right? We've got some wonderful effects sounds. How far is that going to go? Just wonderful, wonderful, marvelous stuff. I'm just going to play through a few here. I'm not going to... Oh, I like that one. I didn't notice how nice that one was before. Sounds even nicer if you don't accidentally hit wrong keys, but then I am no keyboard player. Very nice. There's a few in particular that I really like. Sweet Dreams is nice. Okay, and just a couple more, I think. Well, that's not the one I thought it was going to be, but... House piano. Now you will have noticed already that there is a certain character to these presets, and indeed to the synth itself. It is very, and I mean this in the most respectful possible way, it is very 80s, it is very cheesy pop in a good way. You can get other kinds of sounds from the synth, don't get me wrong, but to me, it's very nicely into that kind of synth wave, cheesy pop, Europop kind of category. And you know, a lot of people like to make that kind of music, including myself. So, what's wrong with that? This is a really useful lead sound. Really, really cuts through. All the sounds I find very kind of usable. You know, like a lot of the time you play with the sounds in the synth and there are lots and lots of really, really impressive, awesome sounds. And then you come to using them, a lot of them don't seem to really fit. These are more usable, more practical sounds. And I think that's probably because Amy is using this live. You know, she's a musician and she's going out playing it live, so she's programmed sounds that are useful. Right, so I'm coming out of that. I'll just give you a quick look. There are a lot of presets to go at. There's a lot to piss pants around with, and you know, presets are the way to. Oh, and yeah, I should have mentioned there are percussion sounds. There are snares, and some of those are really, really nice. I think this was the... Yeah, I used that one earlier, and this is a lot of fun. There's a cowbell. for Wall, who's sadly not here, it's a shame. And then we've got some other percussion stuff here. And, oh, this is a nice snare. And there's some metal sounds, you know. We've got some, like this one. Lots of fun effects, which remind me very much of the kind of synths that I was pissy panting about with in the 80s, right? All these kinds of sounds. There always has to be some sound in every synth that says the word alien in it. That has some kind of evolving kind of sort of alien landing kind of a sound. I said I wasn't going to go through many more sounds, but there's just lots of really, really nice sounds. Okay, I really must stop doing this. And then, of course, there's lots of room for you to store your own sounds. All right, so let's have a little look at what the synthesizer itself is capable of. I'm going to just close out the on-screen keyboard. I didn't actually finish doing this. Okay, finish doing this quickly. Right, so this window here for presets, and then here we move along the banks of presets. So if you wanted to say, whilst playing with the band, perhaps move through banks of presets like this, and then go left and right through your sounds, you could in fact save your sounds that you want to use in an order in those user banks there, set them up in an order where you could just go like, okay, next song, I just need to move on one sound. Or, oh, we're going to do that song next. I wasn't expecting that. Well, later, I'll move on a bank. It's in there, and you found it. And that's very, very easy to do in a very quick, playing live with the band kind of a fashion. And here we've got the octave selector for the keyboard, right? And of course, if you had got lots and lots of octaves like that already on screen, it still moves along really. It just looks awesome as well when you do it. Very nicely thought out. Actually, I don't want that many keys. Let's set it like that. Why am I bothered how many keys I've got? I'm going to close it now. I'm going to do this and make it disappear so that I can show you in instrument how beautifully this is set out and just how usable this really is in a kind of on the fly, I'm jamming with my band kind of a situation. So for each sound bank, if you like, what we have is 3 oscillators. And in fact, I'm just going to go like this and show you through the different pages. So this is the first page. Next page takes me to oscillator 2, oscillator 3, and then we've got a noise page. And then we've got various properties, and then we have gone too far. Oh, no, I thought there was another one, but apparently not. It's just me being a stupid hippie. And then on each one of those banks, we have also a menu across the top where we can change amp envelope and shape envelope, etc., etc., right? So here's oscillator 1. Now what I'm going to do is, I suppose that sound will do. It's not, yeah, that'll do. That'll do me as a starting point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to next page into oscillator 2 and turn down the volume of it, and then the volume is already all the way down on the third oscillator, so that's fine. And then I'll go previous page, back up to oscillator 1. Right, so now when I'm pissy panting around with oscillator 1, we can hear just that oscillator, so I know exactly what I'm doing and what I'm changing. Now I know that a lot of you really, really like apps that give you a great visual, kind of graphic, visual. Now, there should have been a better word there, but I don't know what it was. A representation of what it is that you're changing sound-wise. And you're going to see that in this app, you very much have that. So if I... Hello, Timothy. Thanks for being here. You're a new Pissy Pants from Chicago. Well, you are extremely welcome here, Timothy. Thank you very much for joining us. Absolute pleasure to have you. Right, so that's the sound of oscillator 1 on its own. Right now, like I said earlier, if you touch something in this app and you look at the top of the screen, I don't know if you can actually see that on the screen, but trust me, it's there, and it will tell you exactly what you're doing. So if you're a bit of a synth noob like me, because I don't claim to be any kind of synth expert. I did say recently that I was going to put my focus much more on apps for things with strings, and apps that were more kind of, things that I would use in the kind of music that I make regularly, drum apps and things like that. I was going to focus more on that. But when I saw this synth and how overlooked it was getting, I thought I have to do something with it. So where was it? Yes, so I don't claim to be any kind of wonderful synth expert or anything. So this is really, really helpful to someone like me. I kind of half know what I'm doing when I'm programming in a sound. So when I touch a key and move one of these faders, and it tells me at the top of the screen what that control does, I learn something and I feel cleverer. And it's nice to feel cleverer, especially as daft as I am, right? And another thing I must tell you while I remember, you don't have to, you see this fader? You don't have to put your finger on the line that indicates the level of that fader. You don't have to do that. You can put your finger anywhere. So again, for live playing, right, you've got to be quick. You're going to make a quick adjustment while you've got a free finger. Touch anywhere in that strip, and it's going to make the change for you. I like that. I think that's, that's simple but clever. So, what's Timothy saying in the chat? I have an old M-Audio Fast Track Pro interface. Should I upgrade to a Focusrite? I'm not familiar with that particular M-Audio. I like M-Audio stuff. I think it's really, really good stuff for the money. Should you upgrade to a Focusrite? Well, a Focusrite, I've got to be honest, Focusrites are really, really good for the money. I don't think that they are the best company in the world when it comes to after sales help, or certainly not a very nice company when you're trying to contact them as an artist who would like to work with them. But their stuff is good. It certainly is good for the money. There are other things in that price bracket that are perhaps as good. It depends exactly what you want, Timothy. And if you would like to message me privately so that I can help you with that to the best of my ability without interrupting the stream too much, you'll find my email address. Actually, I don't think I remember to put it under this video. Actually, it's under most of my videos, but I think I actually forgot to do that for this video. Yeah, I did, didn't I? All right, so I'll tell you what it is. Right, so it's Jamie, Jamie, Mal, Mal, at hotmail.co.uk. Everyone is welcome to have my email address. Send me a message, and I will help you, sir. Wall's here. You didn't know I was on? How very dare you. We played a lovely cowbell sound earlier, Wall, and you missed it. Right, so, but thank you for joining us. And Dave, thank you for being here. Right, so, I was wobbling on about something, and I may have just lost my thread. Okay, right, so when we move the gain, you'll see we've got this great graphic representation of what's going on here. We can alter the tuning, which is fun, and we can double tap to return it to 0. We can pan the sound left and right, and I love that because with us having 3 separate oscillators, we can pan them across as we like. That's really, really nice. Now this is my favorite bit. We can alter the ramp, the oscillator generator, and sweep across and find that timbre that you really kind of I think for a change I'm going to make something really subtle. Hey Jim, thanks for being here, dude. And Audible's here. Yes, I've been wobbling as usual, Audible. I've forgotten how to talk. Oh dear. And you'll see that today I am set up in a sort of a bit of a sound test room kind of a fashion. It's a bit of a tribute to Doug, actually. No, actually, the truth is that I forgot to wash my hair and I look a mess. And actually, you don't want to see what I look like when I'm playing keyboards. When I'm playing guitar, yeah. But you don't want to see me when I'm playing keyboards because I'm really bad at it, you know? So you don't want to see the expressions on my face when I hit those magic notes. So, let's see. We've got, oh, and yes, we can introduce some noise here, which I don't think I'm going to do with this sound, but I'm going to show you where that comes into play later, right? And then we can shape the sound, the shape envelope. And you see that this picks up from the last page, right? So we created that shape there, and then we develop it further here. We can adjust the decay, the attack. Right, now, I think what I'd like is something really subtle. Let's increase that sustain there. And then when we get to here, where we change the amp envelope, I don't think I want to, there. Now we're going to decrease the attack. Let's have it fade in. And let's have some release time on that. Oh wow, Jim, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I'm flattered and very, very appreciative. Thanks very, very much. You are a star. I keep getting told off, by the way, for not mentioning certain things, not doing a bit of self-promotion whilst doing these streams. So just very, very quickly, if you do wish to help out the channel in any way, there are lots of ways you can do that. Obviously, there are the super chats. There's also, you know what, you can just share my videos. Give me lots of thumbs up and shares, helps as much as anything else. I've got music on Bandcamp where you can listen for free, you can download stuff, and you can pay what you want. I also have some merchandise on Bandcamp, and you can get the Don't Piss Your Pants About t-shirt there, which I would like to start selling on YouTube, but I need to figure out how to actually do that. I don't know if I can yet. I don't think I'm quite loved up enough on YouTube yet to be allowed to do that. And you know, there's my website, and there's other stuff. Oh, and there's Patreon, of course, as well, where I am helping some of my patrons to help to make their music. I play on things for them. I help them with mixes, give away presets and samples and all kinds of stuff like that. So well worth checking out. Right, okay, so I've made this subtle kind of creeping in, sort of. Actually, Jim, I'm so glad that you mentioned that. That's you've really helped me out there. Thank you. Right, now I searched for this app in the App Store. I typed in ANILOG, and I spelt it correctly, and it did not appear. And I had never seen it come up in the App Store when I was checking out anything else. You know, like when you're checking something out and it gives you like suggestions of other apps that you might like because you like that one, so you might like this one, right? I've never seen it like that. But if you type in ANILOG Morphing Synthesizer, or even if you just put ANILOG Morphing, I think that will get you a result. Yes. Because that's what I did. It worked for me. Right, okay. Now, you know, when I started off this stream and I had a little jam, you know, not brilliantly because I'm not a keyboard player, but I had a little jam, and I was in C minor, and I seem to be incapable of playing anything but C minor now, because I was worried about my ability to play C minor and actually not hit too many bad notes. Right, so we've got this thing going on. Then over here, we've got some effects. Now, Bit Crusher's not really what I want for this sound, but if I just switch it on, just to demonstrate, right, I'm just watching the volume here, just don't want to hurt anybody's ears. Okay, and then you can change these things, which will affect how the sound itself affects the Bit Crusher. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't think that you can automate any of this as yet. I hope I'm not wrong on that. No, I hope I am wrong, because that would be good if you can automate it, but I don't think you can yet. And I can cope with being wrong. But, you know, like I was saying, this app is fantastic for use live. So imagine, right, if you want to get hands on and do it live, there we are, right? That looks like fun, right? We like that. Okay, I don't want Bit Crusher on this sound though. Oh, hang on, let me just do this. I was doing this earlier and I had so much fun. I actually wasted a whole bunch of time just doing this. Right? The more that you pissy pants around with this app, the more you realize this has been cleverly designed for live use. I'm not saying it's not going to be a great synth for, you know, someone who just plays at home and wants, like me, wants synths for programming in sounds and recording stuff, you know. For me, when I'm doing like synthwavy type stuff, I will definitely be using this, even though it's not AV3 yet, but it's coming. You know, I'll definitely use it. This has sounds in it for that, and these days I love making that kind of sound. So, all right, so I'm kind of making a sound that's, you know, maybe not the greatest sound in the world, but I'm just going to very quickly go through this because I need to get to the sequencer as well. So, such a noob today, says Jim. What, me or you? Yeah, the noob is a commonly used word in our house, and it's usually aimed in my direction. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to next page this. We're going to go to oscillator 2, and then we're going to bring up the level of oscillator 2. And then we're going to bring up the gain of oscillator 2, so we can actually hear it. All right, now I have a layer. Now I have a layered sound that's playing 2 octaves higher, which is nice. Right. Now, what if I pan that one to the left? If you're listening with headphones or studio speakers or whatever, you'll be able to hear that pan there. Maybe we should go further. Right, and then let's go to the shape. And I just want to bring that attack down a little bit. I think I'm going to leave other things as they are. And then the amp envelope, let's just... a little more release on. Yeah, I think that's enough. I don't think we want to do anything effects wise. And then I don't know if we even need an oscillator 3. Actually, I'm going to pan that to the right. Just a little bit of it in there, I think. And let's go over here and again give that a bit more release time. Now, maybe not the greatest sound in the world, but you know, I am dreadful at this stuff. And that was pretty easy for a noob like me. I think maybe got a little too long a release on that first sound there. Let's just go and... yeah. I think that's a very usable sound. I could see me using that. And then noise, which if we'd added some noise in one of those oscillators, then we can play around with the noise here and further affect it. And then here we can change feedback length and increments. Oh, sorry about that. That might have been a bit harsh on the ears. There, see? Hippie Noob makes vaguely usable sound, you know, due to app being very, very user friendly. I think I think that makes this app worth looking at. If I can make an okay sound with it, it's definitely worth looking at. All right, I must move on from this because I've not left myself very much time to show you the sequencer. So let's go to sequencer, and you'll see here this is the little thing that I programmed in that I opened up with. All right, now Amy knows that this is not the absolute most user-friendly sequencer. She considers it to be a little bit fiddly, but you know, she is developing further. So I think, you know, I think it's well worth a purchase, even if just for the sounds. All right, so let's go to the file menu, and I'm going to actually, no, before I do that, let me just show you that in this sequencer, right, we're used to sequencers that move across this way. This moves down. So down the left hand side here, you see the song position, right? So we've got like count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. We can move through the song by moving this bar here. And you'll see that there's a numerical value for every note. If I take the zoom off, you'll see that there are notes which specify which sound has been played at what volume, etc., etc. lots of detail included in these numbers here, and it's written in hexadecimal, and that terrified me a little bit when I when I first realized that it wasn't, wasn't decimal. I'm like, I thought, well, do I have to actually be good at maths to use this app? And actually, I, I've barely noticed, to be honest. It's not affected me at all. So what we've got here is this is the count through the bars. Song position is adjusted here, and then if I move across here, these are the different tracks. So track, just go back, sorry, 0 was the kick, 1 is the bass, and then 2, 3 and 4. What I've done is I've got a chord playing on 2, 3 and 4, and I've just put one note into each track. So like my C minor, which I put that on the track, that on a track, that on a track, right? And then over here I've got a snare on this track. For each track there is, you just select the track, and then at the bottom you can mute the track, which is how I introduced each instrument separately at the beginning of the jam. And then we've got a volume for each track and an effects send for each track. Effects sends are the effects go to here and you adjust them here. I must remember to tell you about that one there. Right, okay, so what we do is we go to instrument, we make a sound that we like, and then we go to menu and we copy that sound. Then we go back to sequencer, and then we select where we want that sound to be saved, because there's a bank of sounds for the song. So you see here, this bank has only got these instruments in it because that's all I needed for that track. So we would select Untitled, and then we would save that sound. Right, now if you go to instrument, bear in mind we're still in sequencer, right? Let's just make it look a little bit more like we're in instrument by putting the keys back on stage. Back on stage? What am I saying? Back on the screen. Stupid hippie. Right, so you can further adjust the instrument in exactly the same fashion as you did in the instrument section. Right, you can make adjustments and save and keep adjusting your instruments. Then in grid, what we do to record a sound in is we just go, let's see now, if I go, tell you what we'll do, where are we for time? Okay, I'm going to go and get an instrument. Let's go to the instrument bank and let's find a hi-hat. I can't remember where the hi-hats are, so typically I move the wrong way. And right, hats. The hat or tiny hats. There are others, but let's go with this for speed, right? And then I'm going to go to menu, and I'm going to copy instrument tiny hats. Right, then I go to my sequencer and go into here. That's the bank I want to save it in, right? So now I just want to paste it into there, right? How do I do that? I've forgotten how to do that. Stupid hippie, right? Let's just copy that instrument again, copy tiny hats, and then go back to sequencer, into instruments, menu, paste, tiny hats, right? And then this is the thing you have to remember how to do, that you have to remember to do, or else everything will go pear-shaped. You have to save program. Confirm, right? So now I've got an extra instrument saved into the instrument bank of my sequencer. And then when I go to grid, now I'm going to select on here and I'm going to insert another song, which all you have to do is press and hold on the track where you want to add another instrument. And I'll just press here, right? That's where I want my hat to be. Sorry, I shouldn't have pressed and hold there. I want my instrument to be on that note there, right? So I'm going to press step record, and you can record in live as well, but you know, I'm not the best on-screen keyboard player, to be fair. Right, and then I think I'm probably going to want my hats to be like that, right? And I could, because I'm using step record, it's a lot time consuming. I'll just go through and put them all in like that. Right, so I'll not do the whole entire thing, or maybe I should. Oh, actually, that'll be alright. I just pressed the wrong key, but it sounded the same. Right, so I am running out of time, so while I do this, I'm just going to say I really appreciate you joining me for this stream today. I am going to be doing a lot more live streams for a little while. What I'm going to do is, rather than making posh, nicely edited videos, I'm going to do a lot more live streams, and I'm going to see where that takes me to on YouTube. It may be the way forward, it may not be, but I'm going to try it and see if it is the way forward for me. Now we must be near the end of the arrangement now, surely. You know, it serves me right for not daring to just put them in live. But yeah, that could have been a total disaster. Okay, it could have been entertaining and, you know, amusing when I got it wrong, I suppose. There's always that. Right, so I'm going to be signing off very short. Oh, there we are. Right, so I think that should be right. So take step record off and press play. Okay, so my hi-hat's there now. Now, because I've got this track selected here, I can adjust the volume of it here. Alright, it's not the greatest piece of music that anyone ever made, you know, but it's not bad. The sounds are nice, right? Now I'm running out of time, so very quickly I will show you that there's also this tab here, and there are other things to this app that I haven't had time to show you, but you know, that's a good sign, isn't it? You know that there's an awful lot to it, too much for a stupid hippie to show you in 1 hour. But in this section here, you'll see my arrangement is here. When I first started working on this, I put in 1 bar, and it was over the I was using the chord C minor, right? So I labeled it C minor, and then I put in another bar, and I labeled them accordingly. And then to add to the arrangement, what you can do is you just select the pattern that you want to copy, right? And you just press duplicate, right? And it adds it to your arrangement. You can add any of these wherever. You can move them around, and you can also change the amount of rows that are in each bar. So let's say if I wanted to double the length of a bar or whatever, I can do that, make it 2 bars, 4 bars, whatever. And if I go back to the grid now, you'll see that the grid is now longer because it's added that extra part to the bottom there. So there's an awful lot more to show you about this app, but that's all I have time for now. So if you have any questions about it, if there's something I've missed, if you have an inquiry about it, then by all means, do email me directly, find me on social media, send me a message, comment below the video, whatever. However it is that you choose to contact me, I will get back to you, I will answer, and I will help you. And if you have any other inquiries at all about iOS music apps or anything about music in general, then feel free to email me on my email address that I forgot to paste in below this video. It is Jamie, Jamiemal for Mal, at hotmail.co.uk. You're very welcome to contact me. Thank you for your support. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Continue to be wonderful people, making music and trying not to piss your pants about. See you later. Bye-bye.